Just waiting on the pop-up. Come on, Discord, don't be a pain. Come on, Twitch, behave. Okay, screw it. It looks like Discord is going to be problematic today. Just as well. Anyway, good morning, soon to be good afternoon, everybody. This is Harmony Muse, and welcome to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Now, as you remember, yesterday we finished off the last two of the three newbie dungeons, specifically Tamtara Deepcroft and Copperbell Mines. And today we're going to continue with the actual main story. As you remember from yesterday, after protecting that one woman and seeing her memories again from the outside somehow, not sure how that works, but that's how it works, that Y'shtola that I had been seeing here and there through the first 15 levels of the Limsa Lominsa story said, yeah, we want to recruit you. Go tell Momody and she'll tell you where to find us. Now, that person is the same person you run into here and there during your, again, your introductory story through whatever starting city. In Oldai, you'd have met Thancred. In Gridania, you would have met Ida the monk and Papalimo the mage. At that same spot where she was saying, yeah, you've got special powers and we can help you use them. I like those little touches like that, where they don't just make it a cookie-cutter feed into the main story. They have little subtle differences like that, at least at the beginning. I believe the order in which you do the tutorial dungeons is also different. I know the order in which you are envoys to this city and that is different. What surprises me is I haven't actually gotten to see the big events, the celebrations yet. I would have sworn that was something that happened by this point in the story. Then again, I'm just as happy being wrong about that. See, I don't mind these long walks, well, I do, sort of. But it gives me a chance to pontificate, do some navel gazing, talk a little bit. Now, you see, she had a different kind of shield than what I have. It looked like the Zulu-style cowskin shields. Except, those are mostly spellcaster shields. Which is a carryover from the 1.0. At higher level, they really don't use shields. It's just something to fill up a slot. That's why the actual blocking stats on them are horrible, and they're really only there to give intelligence or mind, and I think piety for for healers. Now, Vesper Bay is your early level, shall we say, your base of operations as a member of the Scions. Now, she gives me a quest to teach me how to dye my gear. I don't really care. Not my concern, you know, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. Rage Against the Machine, real original name there. Okay. So I'm supposed to go to the Waking Sands here and speak to this little lady. And yes, that's actually a lady and not a kid. That's what I heard at Lonely Flower. Yearning for the heavens above to quench my thirst. Tra-la-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Rest in peace, Trillolo guy. Rest in peace. Embarrassed at being caught singing to herself. I would thank you not to sneak up on me like that. Now, please be advised this is private property. If you've pertinent business here, I must ask you. Oh, here at the behest of Ishtola. My sincerest apologies. May I have your name? Now, there you are. Now, if you had a real ignorant name when creating your character, and you were going to sign in, they would be saying something about, "Are you sure that's really your name? You know, you know that falsifying your records is a crime and so and such." To make fun of the people that name themselves things like Digger Nick or Tig Ol' Biddies or something that's obviously meant to be disgusting. Because, let's be honest, if you give the average person on the internet a name right, a place to make a name, they're going to come up with something crass. It's unfortunate, but it's a fact of life. Now, there's not going to be much here in the Waking Sands now. But later on, there will be things like vendors here, quest givers that direct me hither and yon. You are, okay, or you arrive, Lady Manphilius, okay. Neither of those things are beneficial to me since I have better. Yeah, the weather thing they give you at level 1 now, which they didn't used to give you, is better than what used to be a big reward for you in the teens.
So you're the adventurer of whom I've heard so much. Well met, friend. My name is Minphilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. I have awaited your coming. Please, be at ease. You are among friends here. No doubt you are ripe to burst with questions. But have patience. All will be revealed in time. First, let me begin by telling you who we are and what we do. We are the Scions of the 7th Dawn, an order that transcends political boundaries. Our single objective is the preservation of the future of Eorzea.
Basically, to keep the world from imploding on itself.
Among our gravest
not in a literal
concerns
sense, but yeah.
are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Their existence is a bane upon Eorzea, nay, the world at large, and we have striven to find a lasting solution to the threat they pose. Our order is home to a number of individuals who, like you, possess a rare and special talent. This talent takes various forms, but one holds particular interest for us. Tell me, have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable loss of consciousness?
Well, yes, I have. Quite a few times I've passed out and saw somebody else's memories.
Have you ever had the sensation of being pulled away from reality? Felt as though you were hovering in space, a mind without a body? All these things are the manifestations of your talent. Yours is the power to transcend the boundaries of the soul. A power known as the Echo. The Echo allows you to pass through the walls of a man's soul and hear the resonations of his past.
Translation, I can see people's memories if I'm supposed to.
You will be there in his memories and see things as he saw them. You may even interact with that which you see, though you cannot change the outcome of events. For another blessing, the Echo will enable you to know a man's mind even if you cannot comprehend his words.
Translation, I don't need to learn languages. I can automatically understand anything anybody else in this world says.
In short, the Echo is a truly extraordinary power. And this power is strong within you.
Can it fix the graphical glitch of showing a visible seam right down the middle of your chair?
It is only a shame that we cannot use it whensoever we choose.
That staff up there, that's also going to be important later in the story, but we're talking months later.
That's right. I too possess the Echo. With that established, let us return to the subject of the primals. So long as they exist, the realm cannot take so much as a single step towards true peace.
Alrighty.
Measures must be taken. Measures which transcend boundaries, be they of faction, race, language, or creed. And to do so, the Scions require the aid of those with our talent. Make no mistake. The Echo will be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat.
Right.
Without it, we cannot hope to save the realm.
The way it's instrumental will show later when we actually see Ifrit, and it will be explained then.
I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea.
Levels and loot?
But I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Why else would the gods entrust man with a gift so extraordinary, if not to have him use it?
Well, that's always something I've wondered is... Well, no, that's too political. We won't go there.
And so I implore you, lend us your power.
Naturally, your aid will not go unrewarded. We are fortunate to have a certain number of influential allies, and a word from me, and they'll gladly afford you certain privileges that might otherwise be denied you. The right to employ retainers, for example. Are you familiar with them? They're individuals who may be relied on to manage your assets and belongings on your behalf. Papers you requested, my lady? Certain in-game features are kind of locked behind certain points in the story. Like doing guild tests, doing class changing, having a chocobo, having auction house retainers. By way of a welcoming gift, I've taken the liberty of adding your name to the retainers registry. As of now, you are entitled to employ the services of a retainer. And you will need to consult a retainer vocate. Okay, well, basically, go to the market center in whatever city that you want to have a retainer, and you can go recruit one there. So they gave me the right to have one for free. Used to be you had to pay a certain amount of money a month back in 1.0. That's something they gave you in this because they realized that locking that behind a paywall was bullshit. It is to the fullest of your talents. Mutually beneficial relationship and one which serves the greater goods. Oh, that was a veritable lecture. Forgive me, it's not important. Okay, now you know our purpose and what we can offer you. I invite you to consider joining us. You have come to a decision you may tell me without fear of censure. In good faith, I shall entrust you with our order's password, which our members use to reach each other when afield. It is Wild Rose. This right here is a reference to the Final Fantasy II on the Nintendo Famicom, which became the NES here in the United States. When you joined the resistance against the evil empire in Final Fantasy II, because let's face it, in damn near every Final Fantasy there's gonna be an evil empire, Or in Final Fantasy VII, there was an evil mega corporation. Or in Final Fantasy X, there was an evil religion. Anyway, in Final Fantasy II, you were given, when you joined the rebellion, a password that you were supposed to use when speaking to various people to let them know, hey, I'm a member of the rebellion, what can you do for me? And that was Wild Rose. So the Too Long Didn't Read version was, they were just referencing the original Final Fantasy II. Okay. Iron Retainer, etc., etc. Okay. Gonna check something really quick. Okay, I've got to do something else first. Okay. It signs up at one objective to safeguard the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as Primal. As long as we've striven to find a solution to the threat they pose. I know not what it is you desire for yourself. I've told you. Money, experience, and loot. Nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea, but I firmly believe the power we possess has been given to us a purpose. Pray consider this when you give me your answer. And of course, I will go where the wild rose blooms. Because, duh. Alright. Wild Rose by any other name.
I take it you will help us.
Now, when dealing with the main quest, you're going to see a lot more spoken dialogue than you see anywhere else.
Wonderful. I knew you wouldn't let us down. But come, I would introduce you to your friends in the Order. Tell me, does the name Sharlayan ring any bells? It used to be one of Eorzea's 6 city-states, and was situated in the northwest of Aldenard. The Sharlayans were the keepers of wisdom both old and new. Their mastery over magic and ether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. Among their number, there were a noble few who devoted their lives to safeguarding the future of Eorzea. When the realm began its descent into chaos, and their countrymen fled for the motherland, they alone chose to remain here. These noble men and women were called the Archons. Those same brave souls stand before you now.
Okay.
The masked woman is Ida, and beside her is Popalimo. The two are charged with surveying the 12's
Black Mage Monk.
Hello there.
And yes, that's her actual voice.
Welcome.
So, bouncy low-class lady, annoyed upper British gent.
Okay, my turn to introduce someone. That there is Thancred.
He is classic anime spiky-haired womanizer, but also badass.
Welcome to the team. If I may, the lovely maiden beside me is named Y'shtola. Limsa Lominsa has the pleasure of being under her care.
Greetings. I have been expecting you. Last but not least is Urianger, who presides over all affairs within these halls. Pray seek him out whenever you have questions.
And yes, they specifically have
banish even the darkest night.
They specifically have protrusions in his cap for his big ass elf ears. Because that's how ears work, apparently.
Words of a dear friend. I'm glad of our meeting.
At the Battle of Carteneau, our leader was taken from us. But we did not stray from our purpose.
I love the look of that healer's wand she's got there with that's literally budding live blossoms and leaves like that.
We sought out Minfilia and others with her talent, and together established the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Along with the Archons, those blessed with the Echo play a pivotal role in our endeavor to forge a brighter tomorrow for the realm. Oh, I should also introduce you to Tataru, our clerk. She ensures that everything runs smoothly.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
And yes, she does
In time,
really sound that
I
cute.
hope you will come to think of us as family. But without further ado...
Okay, if we're gonna be family, does that mean I'm the weird cousin sitting in the corner, scratching his backside and picking his nose?
I would assign you your first task. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
Baldessian, right there. That is a reference to Final Fantasy V. Remember, people who've been watching my streams over on Twitch know that when I was playing Final Fantasy V for the 4-job Fiesta, there was a character named Galuf who was king of a castle named Bal. In the actual documents, his last name was Baldessian.
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
It's not the same Galuf, it's not the same Baldessian, and it's not the same Wild Rose. It's just references in the new games to the old games.
We have received a request for aid from the Immortal Flames. Thancred, would you do the honors?
It would be my pleasure. Some days ago, a crystal caravan registered to Amagina and Sons mineral concern was waylaid and divested of its cargo.
Checking my messages really quick. Oh. To answer your question then, I'm sorry it took me a while to tab out and look at it. I apologize. If you die in a dungeon, you go back to the last checkpoint and you go from there. If you die during the middle of a boss fight, a white mage or a scholar has a resurrection power that can bring you back up in the middle of the fight. Now, I'm not sure about Astrologians, which were the healer class added in Heavensward, because I never got that far. But yeah, they can bring you back up, but the time they're spending getting you back on your feet is time they're spending not healing people, and that makes things complicated and can be touch and go.
But there...
Again, I'm sorry it took me so long to respond to you.
Several people were reported missing from the shantytown outside the city.
So a bunch of crystals were stolen and a bunch of people went missing. People who've played Final Fantasy XIV know that those two things together are bad news.
At a glance, one would assume the involvement of bandits, kidnappers, and coincidence. Such crimes are hardly uncommon, and the Immortal Flames deal with their like almost every day. However, this time we have reason to believe that a primal is involved.
Aye, the evidence left behind implicates the Emolja, who are known worshippers of Ifrit. If we then consider the objects that were taken, there is no room left for doubt. The crimes were committed in the name of a primal.
That you may better understand the nature of our struggle with the primals, I would have you play the leading role in this investigation.
Radio?
You have my thanks. If there is aught you wish to know, I recommend you speak with Thancred. He is well versed in the affairs of Ul'dah.
Ever at your service, fair lady.
Okay, so, basically, the primals that they're speaking about are the gods of the various beast races. Now, said beasts are said beast races like the sylphs, the kobolds, you know, various intelligent beastly creatures. Now, they summon them to the world by harvesting a shitload of crystals with an element aligned to that. Say fire for Ifrit, ice for Shiva, wind crystals for Garuda, water crystals for Leviathan, and so on. Now, not just powered by crystals, these primals are powered by the belief of their followers. And one thing they have a tendency to do is regular people that are around one of the primals when they're summoned end up getting what's called tempered. What that is they're basically instantly brainwashed into the service of said god, and thus fervently are fervently faithful, and thus bring said god more power. So kidnapping plus crystals means that whatever beast race did this is more than likely looking to summon and power up their god. That's a spirit. Your mission is to investigate a crystal robbery. Crimes can be connected. Okay. Caravan, in light of this, my judgment is that the abduction should be our priority. Majority of the missing were last seen in the vicinity of Camp Drybone, so that'd be a fine place to begin. Go see Isambard. In fact, the leader, pay him a visit. Hey, fan! I'm starting the Ifrit quest chain, man. And it'll probably be tomorrow before I actually see Ifrit. But you already should have an idea where I'm going there. Now, if you want to learn more about Combat Resurrection, Fan would be the person to speak to. They play healer far more than I ever have. Now, you see these red markers like this over a name. What that means is that I don't meet the qualifications to do that quest yet. Either I'm not high enough level, or I haven't done a precursor quest. Now, that's plus sign by the quest line name like that means that it unlocks a feature. I forgot to check. I forgot to message the Choco Keep here. And now that I'm going to be working largely around Ul'dah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to register Ul'dah as my home point. So whenever I use return, I can transfer here for free once every 30 minutes. That way I'm not having to spend so much time hopping back and forth. What the crap? Oh, that's the way of the samurai quest. Okay. So that's where you go to get samurai. I keep forgetting that they, because of the outcry about how hard it was to unlock the Heavensward quests, that they did that just for Ul'dah. Now, because I haven't actually been to Drybone yet, I'm going to have to walk the hard way rather than take a Choco up there or take the teleport up there. This is something that's common in most RPGs, is while you might have a fast travel system, you can't use said system until you've been to whatever place is the slow way first. Like, up there is the Blackbrush Station Aetheryte. I've not been to Blackbrush, so I can't teleport there. That said, I'm going to make a point of getting the crystal while I'm traveling. As I remember, there's an achievement for attuning to every single Aetheryte in Classic FF14. I could be wrong, however. It's been a while. Okay. Let's also get the Choco Keep while I'm here. Now that's done. Now this place here brings back a lot of memories. Because my first character that I played through Final Fantasy XIV with back in the day, I started off as a gladiator. Because I wanted to be a paladin. So I spent a lot of time through here back in those days when it took a lot longer to level than it does now. I mean, back then, if you wanted to do a second class, there was pain involved. There was grind. I mean, oh, there's still grind, but back then you suffered for it. It literally took me, for my first class, a month and change to make level 50. I'm not even joking. And that was back when the old Relic Reborn quests were the best or best weapon you could get for your class in the game, outside of being very lucky in Binding Coil. And let's be perfectly honest, Binding Coil was one of those things back then where it wasn't in the duty finder, so good friggin' luck getting a group of 8 people together. Because back at the time, it took so much work to survive Binding Coil, which was the big endgame 8-man content at the time. Everybody had to know the fight, had to know what they were doing beforehand. If you had more than a few people who didn't, or who hadn't ran it before, there was going to be suffering. There was going to be pain. Here to search for the missing folk. Ophelia sent word about an adventure fitting your description. She also warned us to be wary of the Amalja. Seems we know who the culprits are at the very least. Now, I bear no official title here, but people have come to look to me for leadership. Yeah, my word, I'll do all I can to help you see the victims safely return. Now, I'm taking the bronze because I don't need any of that. Isambard is asking me to help. Okay, let's get right to it. And Ophelia names the Amalja culprits. We do well to investigate them first. Much harm has been levied on these lands by Amalja hands. The flames burn where they might, but their light cannot stay in the darkness in all places at all times. There have been brutal murders of callers at the Church of St. Adama Landama, innocents wishing no more than to pay respects to the dead. Those poor souls deserve a proper burial. I would see to the deed before the mongrels catch their scent, but I know not if the Amalja still linger. So I'm supposed to go rescue corpse from a caravan. Okay. Basically, corpse being taken to the to a cemetery to be buried. The caravan that was carrying them got jumped first, and I'm getting beeped at. Okay. So let's go take these corpses and get them to their final rest. Come on, you big ugly. Let's pick up the bodies. And let's take the shortcut down. What the hell was that? Oh, somebody's got a griffin pet. I want that. Where do I get one of those? Okay, got the Choco key for here. Eee, Splorch. And remains, okay. Oh, Lord. So these corpses are mutilated and left to rot. That's disgusting. Okay, the bodies given back proper to the earth. The souls will find their way across the other side. You've done a noble deed. Now, then, what of the Amalchi? Did you see any such massive monstrosities that cannot conceal their presence, much less worry unawares? Oh, so there were Amalchi remaining. I feared as much. Their part in the lowborn disappearing is all but confirmed. My sense there is more to this than meets the eye. The occasional Amalchi raiding party would not account for people going missing in these numbers. The total is too great, and the questions too many. It would not surprise me in the least to learn of another hand in this. But whose? Countless travelers pass through Drybone every day, and even if it's one among them, how would we best discover who may be implicit? So basically, the kidnappings are of the poor, the homeless, the unwanted, the kind of people most people would be glad to see gone. So they're not really paying too much attention to who's disappearing. Okay, so we turn an eye to these common folk themselves. It may be among them that we find reasons for these vanishings. We'll forbid it to be so. There's a merchant by the name of Ungust who was born here in Drybone and grew up in the Golden Bazaar. A rough character, but he knows his people better than anyone else. I wager he's at the end, quaffing away the day's earnings. Here, I'll write a note for you to show him, else he's not like to speak to you. Time to go see an old friend. Oh, trust me, this is going to be fun. It's the wannabe rapist. Hey, jackass! Hand me that bloody adventure, threatened me back in older. What in the seven hells do you want with me now? Dear friend, missing people, please help. Asambard. Folk around here is where as they come, they'll turn tail and run if you so much as pass wind nearby. Played them all for fools and coaxed some hard labor out of them, I did. If anything, they're more timid than before, what with all the disappearances. You can go talk to them yourself if you don't believe me. Oh, if you think I hate this guy now, wait until you see the full depth of the asshole's shenaniganry. And believe me, we will get there. Your policeman, just leave me be. Devious derelict. I have nothing to say with this. Thal Teku or whatever's been feeding off us slow folk. Petrified pauper. What do you want from me? I don't know anything. I swear, please kill me. And you see these guys are justified in being as scared as they are. Because if you follow because you can see these are brass plates, not immortal flames that are guarding the gates. And if you ever played through the older version of the storyline, the brass blades are openly corrupt. Basically trying to shake down caravans when you first come in, saying, "Oh," and pulling contraband from behind his own wallet or back, saying, "We found this on your cart. You're going to give us a lot of money, or we're going to take all your shit." It's just I told you, the whole lot of them. And he's drunk. There's been talk of folk being abducted. If you ask me, they simply up and move to a better place. This isn't Costa del Sol, if you know what I'm saying. Costa del Sol is a resort. It's over by Limsa. You know, it's beaches, sand, cat girls in bikinis. man would love the place. Hell, I would love the place. Back if you learned out of import. See, I should have expected as much from Ungust. Well, another thought occurred to me in your absence. Folk are nothing if not fervent in their religious beliefs. This is true. Come on, okay. Perhaps if they speak freely to their gods and the clergy may know something else. Translation, let's go see, let's go talk to the churchy people, see what they know. Okay, I know that the common folk speak to their gods. Better place to go than Church of St. Amma, Adama Lama, Rama Lama Ding Dong. It's a small and humble church found to the west of here. Okay, so long as you're headed there, I might ask you to deliver this embalmed corpse a morbid request, but it must be borne to burial, and I trust none more than you to see it there. Seek out a man named Marquess. He tends the graves of the Lich Yard. Lich Yard being a fancy way of saying a place to put bodies, because Lich used to not just be a name for undead in various role-playing games. It used to be a name for corpses, for bodies. So they're basically being blunt about what it is and calling it a corpse yard. Now, Marquis isn't exactly who he says he is, but we won't go there. And somebody's got a pet behemoth mount. I have one of those. I can't ride it. Not until I unlock the rights to use a chocobo. Frustrating that, but what can you do? I'm Marcos' buddy, of course. There have been so many buddies of late. I apologize, miss. If you seek a place of burial, then there is an empty grave atop the ridge. Take the path and lay him to rest there. Now, you see with all the levels I got from the dungeons how I'm 3 levels above the story for now. It's gonna be like that for a while. Well, that's where you want me to go. What the crap, man? No, it ain't. I misunderstood. Whoopsie daisy. It's up in there. Remember when I said I have nothing in the way of a navigational skill? I mean, you've seen me wandering around blindly in the Nomad on various planets in Mass Effect Andromeda. Putting the body in the grave. Or on top of the grave. Poor fella. But at least he followed his mom's advice and he's got on clean underwear. Dug him, covered him with rocks. Let's go speak to Marky Mark. May they all walk in Thal's realm. What, missing people? I'm afraid I can't help you. But maybe our sister Orson can. She's been kind to me. Everyone's been so kind. I don't know why, though. Pardon me, you'll find your sister Orson within the church walls. I hear you've done us the service of burying a fallen soul. Please accept our gratitude and extend it to Isambard the next time you see him. You seek knowledge of the missing Drybone inhabitants. It is true I'm closer to the people in any of the Order. I confide in them, and they in me. When they wish to speak to their keeper Thal, I'm the medium through which they do. Should I learn anything pertinent, I will be sure to share the information with you. Sigh. I only wish Marquis was more helpful in the matter. I pray he did nothing to offend. He saw ... terrible things during the calamity. His scars run deep. Indeed, he prefers now the company of the dead over the living. While tragic, I fear such behavior ill befits the church. I received word not long ago that one of our recent visitors, a man called Thancred, I believe, took offense at his conduct. I must have words with Marquis soon. There's a reason for that, but again, spoilers. Now, back in the... Oh my god! What the hell was that? Oh, Dragoon. Never mind. High-level jackass showing off powers. Saying, hey, look at me, aren't you impressed? Not really. Okay. Thank you. A burial is no easy thing, even when the departed is a stranger. We're able to learn all of the missing common folk. Huh, and there's Thancred. You've been keeping yourself busy. Pleasure to rise, Zimbard. My name is Thancred, and I share a passion with you and your mutual friend here for learning what's become of the missing people. I too spoke with Ungust more times than I care to count. There seems to be some truth to this notion of the common folk speaking of their secrets only through those in service of the gods. Prostration, prayer, penance, abject deeds done behind closed doors, away from prying eyes. Who better to take the pious unawares than she who takes the confession, good Sir Orson herself? What she wouldn't, she couldn't. Even the most beautiful roses have thorns, my friend, and you would be wise to keep an eye to this rose. Still, the Lich Keeper Marquis, I swear to the 12 I've seen that face elsewhere before. Spoilers! Da-da-da-da-da-da. What's our next quest? Boots that we're not going to be able to use, or we're not going to be able to need. Okay. Are concerned about the questions surrounding her integrity. Okay. Storson, it cannot be, though she is wont to travel to the Golden Bazaar on her own. It's not uncommon to see her speaking to the children, but no, she couldn't have done it. I go worry of these suspicions. I know there's one child in particular she is fond of, for seek out the boy and see if you cannot glean something from him about Orson's proclivities. Okay, so I'm going to go shake down a little kid to get dirt on a nun. Because that's what heroes do. We torment children about clergy. Okay. Now we're going up here to speak to the kid. Doesn't really look like much these days, does it? This is a bigger place in 1.0, I do believe. Now we're looking for a little kid, but first I'm going to repair my kit. An unco merchant talking to other little kids. These helpless Dorkin went out all on her own and hasn't come back. She always reads to me right here about following the order on the other side. I told her I lost my shiny ring and she went looking for it. But what if the monsters outside hurt her? Please find her. Okay, so rather than tormenting a kid, I'm gonna go save the nun for him. Oh, zombies. Hey, zombos! You're the one from the church. Thank goodness you arrived when you did. It seems my gratitude is yours yet again. You spoke with the child. Yes, well, I was able to find his lost trinket. It is a ring given to him by his mother before she died. I will see it safely back to him. Well, I can see how a trinket from jewelry belonging to one's dead parents would be important. I mean, goodness knows I keep some of my father's old sheriff's department badges up on my desk where I can look and think about them. So it looks like you're going back to the head man of the one village. I still think it was one of the best things they ever did for low-level characters. Is making it so sprint didn't take out your TP bar. So if you have to stick and fight, or if you're trying to close into and engage something in combat before it gets away, you still have the TP with which to do it if you're melee. And yes, those are giant sheep. Well, rather giant goats. What do we have? This Dorkin was attacked outside the bazaar. Gods for fend. I'll secure a room for the engineer prior to rest. Searching for mementos of orphans and risking your own well-being. Certainly not the deeds Thancred would have us believe. Okay, so she's not guilty. Somebody else has to be. I'm glad I reserved that in room for Sister Orkin. It seems she received greater injuries from her attackers than she let on. Thankfully, she's expected to make a full recovery, but now on to the matter at hand. Thancred came looking for you once more. He left word that he'll be waiting at the Amalsha encampment to the southeast. I pray the two of you are able to uncover some evidence regarding these disappearances. Amalsha, wrong places. That's a reference to an old country song, or I think it's a country song. I can't remember who sang it. I'm sure oh, Misha. Where is Misha? Oh, there's Misha. Again, my friend Misha. Oh, and you're doing Red Mage. Yeah, that's again played by my friend Fan, who's in voice, or not in voice with me. But you take care, buddy. I've got stuff to do. Fan there is someone I consider a good close friend, even if I may talk a lot of shit here and there. And its fan was the reason that I'm playing on this server rather than playing on the new server and getting double experience. I would rather level up slowly with friends, and this really isn't slowly compared to what I used to do on this game, than I would quickly by myself. Because while this is a beautiful game, and that music is nothing short of amazing, the real draw to an online game are the people. The community can make or break a game. Take, for example, the game League of Legends. What little I played of it, the gameplay itself was very fun. But the community, oh my God in heaven. Tap dancing Christ, this was a toxic bunch of people. I played a couple of games of League of Legends, and within a couple of matches, I had so many people saying, uninstall the game, drink a gallon of bleach, slit your wrists, and kill yourself because you will never be good at this game. And this was something that people were saying commonly. And they thought that was okay to tell people to go kill themselves. Because apparently I sucked at the game. Never mind that it was literally my first couple of matches. And I was going out fighting while they were sitting back in the base complaining that I was doing horribly. When better to do horribly than do nothing at all. Anyway, back to the game. Heard about the sister, or consider wounds were serious. It seems my suspicions about her were misplaced. But false while they were, perhaps my suspicions were not entirely without merit. Whilst following the sister, a band of Amalja caught my eye. I tracked them here. And let's say that I would prefer to keep my distance and remain here. This, of course, brings me to why I requested you. Would you be so kind to take a look inside? Do I look like the stealthy kind to you, Thancred? My character sticks out like a turd in a pool. Like piss in a punch bowl. And you want me to go sneaking in to find something. That's not going to go over well, man. Now again, remember, this game is largely using British English. So when that says queer leaflet, it's not anything about homosexuality or anything gay or lesbian. It means strange. Now let's take a look at this leaflet. Strange slip of parchment. Okay, now let's get on out of here. So this is a strange thing where something that rather than being decent or okay looking to an American, but really being vulgar, is something that looks vulgar to an American, but really isn't. Anything tickle your fancy? Here, take a look at this leaflet. See the wealth of null in the hands of your children. It looks to be some sort of assembly to provide the poor with work. This lettering, though, atrocious, is it not? And these bits about null fall seem somewhat less than studied. I find it hard to believe one among the Order penned this. Pray take this to the inn at Camp Drybone. Let us see what Sister Orkin makes of it. I was running. Thad also runs a game that I play on Saturday nights. Not D&D, it's something called Savage Worlds. It's a fun system. My savior comes again to what do I owe the honor this day? Here, we found this. Blasphemous, these are not our teachings at all. This is not made by any true order, or true brother or sister of the order, that I can assure you. Come to think of it, weeks ago the church was plagued by missing garments. Could someone be posing as a priest to deceive the people? The plot thickens. Our culprit pretends to be a priest to lend credence to his deception. There is no doubt and irony in there somewhere. But I suspect we have a worthy adversary on our hands. I shall consider how best to handle this. For now, tell Isambard what we've learned here. Alright, posing as a priest to think. Those troubling notions aside, it's gratifying to finally be able to move this investigation forward. Thank you once again. I shall keep my ears and eyes open now more than ever. Now, one thing I do like about all of this is I have gotten a decent amount of experience and a level or two out of doing this roundabout. Or a level, rather. Okay. Now they're starting to give body armor, which, again, I don't need. Just to deceive. I'm afraid I haven't seen any unusual activity, nor have any in this camp given me cause to doubt him, but unless we can identify the culprit, soon more innocents will fall victim. Do not despair, an idea occurs to me. The suspect has been posing as a priest, using leaflets bearing false promises to lure the poor. Let the main character and I serve like with like by posing as homeless. Hope this will yield us the answers we seek. It will be a dangerous undertaking, but you two are more than capable of looking after yourselves. I'm next to useless in battle, but I can't supply the garments. These old tunics and slops should serve your needs, so long as you don't mind the smell and the stains. Very well, you have my thanks. To lay the foundation for our little ploy, we must make it widely known that we're vagrants. Put the old skanky clothes on and beg for work. What happens, the fake priest should come up and see us. Funny part is, that's only a chest piece and a head piece. Or a chest piece and a leg piece. Other shepherd's tunic. And the weathered shepherd's slops. So, I have all of my armor on other than that. So, I don't look like a hobo. I look like a murder hobo. Okay, I appreciate the teachings of the same of the warden as I come to faith and honey of their wisdom. Keeper of the sun and goddess of inquiry, all is laid bare. Open thy heart to your light, child, and witness the end of days. Okay. I was about to get to the good part. Ifrit just say we don't have any openings, and I'll get out of here so I can finish my story. Less concerned about poor and starving, more concerned about finishing, telling a good tale to his friends. And you are another refugee. The immortal flames have neither work nor coin for your like. Be gone and see to it you don't make a disturbance. So, oh, you're a bum. You're looking for work. You're trying to make something of yourself. Get out of here. Says something about the milk of human kindness there that's expected behavior. What is it? God's not again. Look, being poor doesn't give you the right to pester whomever you like. Why don't you keep your own kind out by that muddy pond of yours? Basically, God forbid I so much as talk to her. How dare I? Oh, I don't believe there is. I'm afraid our wares are very expensive. Maybe you should join your fellows out at the pond. Now, basically a nice way of saying, I don't think you have the money to buy my stuff. By an act for being a nuisance, the camp is abuzz with talk of newly arrived vagrants. We were unable to contact or we were transgressed, so we were able to learn or have a commune by the pond north of Sandgate to the east of here. The eyes of the authorities don't reach that place, rather ideal for spiriting away hapless souls. Let's go there and wait for the kindly priest to come and offer us aid and comfort. Needless to say, you'll need to remain in disguise. Let's see how long I've been at this. Oh, about an hour. Okay. And Dress to Deceive is also the requirement for the quest to unlock a dungeon here called Halatali. You see, there are dungeons going up through the levels in Final Fantasy XIV. Some of them you're required to do as part of the story. Some of them are optional. Now, the ones that are optional have quests to unlock them. At level 20, there is one called Halatali. We'll be doing that one. Might be getting it done today, I'm not sure. Level 24, you have the 1,000 Maws of Todorok. I believe you get that one for free. Level 28, you get Hauk Manor, which you're required to do for the story, just like Todorok. Level 32 is the Sunken Temple of Karn. That one is not a requirement, but it's a good one. 35, you get Brayflox's Long Stop, required for the story. 38, Cutter's Cry, not required. 41 is Stone Vigil, that is a requirement. 45 is Aurum Vale, fuck Aurum Vale. And 48 is Zamel Darkhold. Aurum Vale? Yeah. Okay. Absolutely Smashing, Positively Dressed for Deception. And I've still got my heavy plate armor helmet and bracers and my big ass axe on my back. Fortune sold, no way for men to live, no way at all. Here, what do you want? Edie's held. I'm a priest of the Order of Null and I've come to offer you succor. This leaflet bears the teachings of Null. Trust them and they will surely let you free from the shackles of penury. Basically, being poor. Tempting offer, but I'm afraid I must decline. On the account of the atrocious performance, you would have made a god's awful mummer, Ungust. Mummer is, I believe that's a term for actor in a stage play. How did you know you bastards tricked me? We're the bastards. We're the bastards. Please don't help me, I was doing it to protect my people. Is that so? Do continue. Very well, the men of the Golden Bazaar are raised there if not born. Some moons ago, the Amalja raids began. They would appear as sudden as a sandstorm, plunder and pillage at will. Our defenders couldn't stand against them, few as they were, everyone lived in fear. I wanted to save my people, but being a merchant was all I knew, and so I did the only thing I could. I approached the Amalja in hopes of brokering a deal. In return for sparing the Golden Bazaar, they made demands, outrageous ones. Demands of what kind, pray tell? First of all, they wanted the schedule for the crystal shipments in the Nanawa mines. For this, I bribed one of the workers to leak the information. Next, they wanted me to bring them people, so I posed as a priest to lure in the vulnerable and give them over to the Amal Jah. I didn't have a choice. Bullshit! Protecting one's home is a noble thing, but at the cost of innocence. You could have sought out the aid of the immortal flames, yet you did not. I suspect you are not telling me the full story. What made you sell out your own people? Speak. The mumble was good. What did you say? The coin was good, I said. I could sell mole meat for a score of lifetimes, not even see a fraction of what the Amal should pay me. So he's selling other people to the beastmen to turn into worship slaves for money. I want to kill this son of a bitch, but you don't get to. Sacrificed innocence so you could line your own pockets. Words fail to express the contempt I feel for you. Spare me your contempt. If I want to blame... Okay. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself or God. That's a reference to Final Fantasy Tactics. Because Delita, in the intro and the prologue, says the same thing when punching the princess in the stomach and kidnapping her. Oh, not you again. Were you the one leaking the immortal flames patrol routes of the enemy as well? Spit it out. No, I know nothing about that, I swear it, but at this stage, I'm rather disinclined to believe anything that leaves your mouth, but no matter, there'll be time enough to learn the truth. Sob, yes, you're an SOB, alright. You'd here take word of these developments to Minfilia, would you? Yahoy. I shall pry anything I can out of this filth. The abductees are still out there somewhere. Our foremost priority is to rescue them. Oh, crap. Sorry about the constant noise there, people. My nose is stuffed in a way that it's causing my sinuses to vibrate and be irritated every time I talk. Anyway, it's time to get back to Minfilia, so let's get to it. And it looks like we might have time for a dungeon today. In that case, we're going to do Halatali. Before I do that, I'm going to check to see if there are any role skills I'm missing. And there absolutely is. Convalescence is an important one. Grant Bard one. There. Names that aren't grass and crude. Okay. And I'm going to be right outside. The Waking Sand, so I'll be able to get the Halatali quest and get that done today. That'll be good. I like Halatali as a dungeon. Of course, there are not many dungeons I don't like. If there was one I really disliked as a tank, it would have to have been, well, Hulk Manor when I first was learning it. Aurum Vale. But nobody likes Aurum Vale. If anybody tells you they do, they're either a masochist or a friggin' liar. That one is less of a pain for tanks, but more of a pain for healers, and generally a pain for everybody. The bosses, you know the pretty little, cones or circles on the floor that tell you where to not stand if you don't want to die? The second boss in Halatali specifically does not have that mechanic. it's a wake-up boss in that regard. Not only that, but the first and third bosses have largely similar mechanics to where the whole the whole floor is covered in these little pools where if you stand in them, you get poisoned and you take a shit ton of damage. This for as long as you're standing in them. The enemy also periodically puffs out a wave of poison that, you know, does damage over time and does not go away. If you get 3 pulses of that poison on you, it's damn near guaranteed death. There are fruit that pop up around the edge of each of these boss rooms that if you eat it, it cures the poison. But there's only so many of them, and they don't spawn that very quickly, so you have to be very careful in when you eat one, so you don't leave yourself out of fruit. So it's a careful balance between keeping yourself from taking too much damage from poison and keeping your white mage from having a fucking heart attack. Now, again, I'll point out, I have yet to meet somebody that likes Ormvale. I like the mechanics in Sunken Temple of Karn because they require you to keep on your toes. The same with the bosses in Halk Manor. Now, you probably don't understand what I'm talking about there, Mom, because I haven't been there yet, but you will see it. Wrong, I see you've uncovered the truth. My thanks for the report. Thancred said we must ascertain where the abducted were taken, and none but the Amal shall know the answer. Suffice to say, they will not willingly part with this information. I fear blood will be spilled before all is said and done. Oh yeah, there will be blood. Many milkshakes will be drinking. Life, materia, and everything. A reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide series of novels, and how 42 was the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything. But they didn't say what the question was. Okay, seek a peaceful solution to the primal problem. Must needs, okay. Meet with a goblin acquaintance who will teach you about materia. Basically, I'll go over materia later. Go take this knife to him and it'll teach you how to put something on it. Actually, I'll go ahead and explain materia now. What materia are, they're gems that you can get from quest rewards or from loot and here and there. But the primary way of doing it, getting materia, is from taking equipment that you've got 100% soul bond with. You get soul bond with equipment by using it. And for example, you see, okay, no, or rather Spirit Bond it's called. You can see my axe, I got a 6% Spirit Bond on it. My rings over here, I've got 100% on since I've had them since forever. We're going to speak to Nedrick here. Hello, Halatali. Okay. Hello, adventurer. Explorer by trade, signed by allegiance, and you look to me an adventurer in need of a challenge. Directly in the corner of eastern Thanalan lies Halatali, and it is there that you'll find all the excitement you crave. Place with a storied history, etc., etc. Calamity laid ruin to it. Dark the Shadow wild beasts. Should you visit, go speak to the guy at the front of the place. Basically, that's how these unlocked quests go. As you're told, go talk to this dude in front of the dungeon. It'll allow you to start queuing for the dungeon. Go have fun. Oh, probably better off if I actually put my good gear on. But I really like some of the subtle effects. I mean, you know it's just a texture mapping. But if you look closely at the axe, it looks like you see the subtle texture of hammer dents to make it look like that was axe that was hammered out the hard way. I like the little touches like that. Makes it feel more immersive, more authentic. Then you see a guy with a miniature flying airship behind him. Okay, we're gonna, rather than going through Ulda, we're gonna go... Oh, right, that's not the way through. It's down here. Still have to cross that bridge when I get to it. Now, they allot 90 minutes of time to get a dungeon finished, and back in the day when we were first learning things, and the initial push for Final Fantasy XIV, when it was a lot harder than it is now, dungeons could take that amount of time. Mostly from pushing and dying and going back to the last checkpoint and continuing and continuing and suffering and suffering and suffering. Now, generally about the average time to see a dungeon completed in is 15 to 30 minutes. And I'm sure there are people who speedrun this stuff that could do it even faster than that. In fact, I think my friend Drew and I, back in the day, back in 2.0, had Amdapur down to 13 minutes for a full run. Well, assuming that the DPS didn't do stupid things. But then these days, that's generally something you don't have to worry. Oh my lord. Okay, that is one of the hunter's mark bosses. Something we don't have to worry about because I'm not of a level to be doing those. That's level 50 plus content, so me at level 22, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. Now you're going to see level 50 some odd people, like the jackpipes on their giant resplendent birds. What the crap? Those are all higher level mounts that you can get later on. Stuff I don't have. Now the materia quest I'm going to need to be doing is up there, but again, we're going to go do Halatali. here. And Holotali is down here. Now, I like doing these dungeons because they're quick, they're fun, they're multiplayer content, and they really let me shine as a tank. Now, I haven't done Holotali as a warrior, so this is going to be still learning. But the fundamentals are still basically there. So keep the enemies focused on you, keep them turned away from the damage, and so on and so forth. Okay. Refinement Land of Many Shadows, etc., etc. Howls and growls. Beast ones kept for a Coliseum are down there. Gentle beast, no gentle beast broken by hands of man. There are things either even the might of the immortal flames can't tame. See word that Nedrick said you might be along by this recommendation. You can go in, but I pray you find your way out. In other words, yeah, you're probably going to die, but have fun in there. So, okay, let's see how much time we got left. 30 minutes, okay. Now, it's saying average wait time is going to be about 8 minutes. So we got some time to rest. Now remember when I was doing Copper Bell and Tom Tara yesterday, it was literally less than 10 seconds and bam, I was in a party. I assume that to mean that not many people are running Holotali. That's just as well. Gives me time to cool my jets, rest my heals. So basically for an hour just fiddle farting around waiting for the queue to pop, and this is surprising. Again, I literally have waited less than 10 seconds for pretty much every dungeon that I've queued for previous. So this is surprising. But it's not a bad thing. If you're not a tank and you're not a healer, 8 minutes is normal. 8 minutes is actually a short wait for damage dealers on the less popular stuff to run. Tell you what though, if it gets to the 8-minute point and I haven't gotten in, I'm probably just going to call it then and log out, because I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. due to some matters I really am not going to go into on stream. Now, one thing you will... What the crap? Ah, graphical glitches. Lovely. Anyway. Each different beast race, when you speak to them, they have their own little funny dialect they bring up. And it gets annoying. Unimix there is a goblin. When you see goblin language, it's going to annoy the crap out of you. I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it. I'm feeling rather tired. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Like, follow, and subscribe if you enjoyed the show. I'm sorry if it's been so short today. But this has been Harmony Muse. Thank you and have a good one. Now, I'm going to bring up the fact that I really like this game, so I'm not going to limit my play to just when y'all are watching. I'm going to limit the main story to that, however. I will do other off classes for myself. I will do leveling of other jobs, crafting, that kind of thing for myself in my off time. I'll leave the main story and main story stuff and interesting things for you to see while I'm streaming. Well, anyway, thank y'all for watching. Have a good one.